Guest speaker for today. This is the fourth International Research Conference, Kabarak University, started on Tuesday, ending today. The theme for this year is addressing the challenges facing humanity through research and innovation. We have had a number of presentations of papers in various venues in this university. And normally at this time, between 5:30 and 1 o'clock, we have this important plenary session. And since Wednesday, we have had key speakers who have presented presentations from various topics. Today, we are privileged to have Dr. Bitange Ndemo, who will be presenting on development of sustainable innovation ecosystems. And to introduce our speaker for today is Reverend Professor Jacob Kabarak. I'll be able to introduce our speaker, Reverend Jacob Kabarak.
Our speaker this afternoon is Dr. Bitange Ndemo. Dr. Ndemo is married with 3 children. More than 20 years of business, finance and technology experience in government, industry and academia. This experience includes serving as permanent secretary for information and communications for the Kenya government prior to joining the civil service in 2005. Ndemo was a senior lecturer and head of research and consultancy at the University of Nairobi School of Business. He rose from the position of a tutorial fellow, senior lecturer. As a scholar, he specialized in business methods and entrepreneurship. Dr. Ndemo had previously worked as a financial system analyst at Medtronic, that's Fortune 500 company in the USA, from 1999 to 1993. He has knowledge of and experience with administration, planning, finance, financial reporting, cash management, acquisition, post-acquisition, integration, and information technology, and several years of experience in policy development, review, and implementation. In fact, the list is so long that I'm not going to read everything. Dr. Ndemo has a PhD from Sheffield University. He has an MBA from in strategic management from University of St. Thomas, USA, 1991. A Bachelor of Science, Finance and Accounting from University of Minnesota, that is in USA, 1988. He's involved in several other assignments as the Chair Alliance for Affordable Internet. He's advisor to the Better Than Cash Alliance and panelist in Internet Corporation. And he is supervising some students, PhD students, and he has 16 consultancies. So the person who is coming to speak to us this afternoon, is a very busy man, experienced. God has helped him in many ways, and he's been lead consultant in a number of things. I can count several, right from the year 1993 up to 2005 as lead consultant for strategic plan, even for and so on. So it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Ndemo to come and speak to us.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I came with a very small cold, but I will be able to talk. I'm delighted to join you again. I think I was here during your second a similar function 2 years ago, and at the time we promised so many things that were going on that would help our country to develop a sustainable innovation system. And today I'm very happy that most of the things that we discussed have become a reality. But first, I think we need to go through what is pushing us towards a direction where we must build a knowledge economy. We actually have no choice, and you are the people to drive the knowledge economy. So if we look at the slide here, there is unprecedented pressure on performance, either the universities here, government, and this pressure is actually coming from technological changes which are pushing us. Some of you, I'm sure most of you, because I know there are some here who don't know when we had analog systems, especially mobile. Most of the people in Kenya today grew up with the mobile technology. They did not know how we lived before the mobile technology. In fact, my cousin was moving houses, and he had one of those old phones where one used to. So he was moving with it, and his 4-year-old daughter looked at it and says, "Daddy, what is this?" So he said, "This is a phone." Then she went silent for 2 minutes. And he said, "A phone, Daddy?" He said, "Yes. How did you used to send SMS?" You can see where we have come from. And some among you probably didn't experience this. Some of us know that we used to have different rings. You ignore it, that is your neighbors, but if you picked, you could actually listen what your neighbor is talking, especially about you. So there is no money worldwide because there is so much pressure. If you look at our budget process, every ministry wants money to accomplish what they want to do. We need money to build the roads, we need money to build schools, we need money to build hospitals. There are no resources. So we must begin now to think how we can use the little we have, but we are able to provide services and be able to provide jobs and be able to provide everything. Then there is a major demographic shift in the sense that 75% of Kenyans now are below 45. That is huge. The things that we do here are the things that cannot be done in the Western world. Because the demographic shift is actually there are more people older than 60 than those who are being born. Because the average child per woman in most countries now is actually less than one. This is in percentage, there is no less than one child. Then 0.5, meaning some women don't have children. And their population is like this, where the majority is up there, where like this, majority is down here. The pressure is more on us because when it's like this, these are very active people below here who need jobs, who need security, who need everything. And that's the problem why we have too many problems, especially around security, because we must figure out when these countries used to have a population like this, they will create war, like Second World War, First World War, so they can eliminate half of them and be able to take care of the few that remain. We can't create wars, so we must find a solution to grow with the ones that we already have out there. Then there is the rising demands. Every citizen wants their government to do something. I'm sure you watch on TV, Serikali na Palani, these are the demands. And if you look at the center of this, because I'm moving fast, what can save us is actually data. Data will save us. Taking risks will save us. And being more complex than we have been before. And then we acknowledge the pressure for change. Let me explain what data can do to us. A few years ago, before we started this mobile applications that are helping farmers, especially with improvement in productivity, I went to my village and asked those whom I grew up with why they grew cows. And they laughed. I said, my friend, since you left here, you don't know why you grow cows. The point I wanted to make is that the cows we grow as Africans are useless cows. They give you 1 liter of milk and they consume more than a cow that gives you 20 liters of milk and consume. That's why they're useless. We don't even know what breed they are. I don't know how many of you know what breed you have in your home. This is where the problem begins. Such that you have several cows. They don't give you the milk that can actually make you richer. And so I said, no, I'm asking because we must find a solution. Because there is no land. There are several places now in Kenya. There is no land. So if there is no land, you must be more productive. To be more productive, you need a lot of data to be productive. That's why we must begin to collect the data and begin to predict the outcomes and be able to make decisions which are rational so that we can be better off. Data from the rainfall, data from how much do you feed the cow to get what type of milk, data on our soils, because you need to know the soil alkalinity, acidity before you plant so that you can harvest what you want to harvest. This used to happen before. Because we had so much land, we could switch places. And in most places in this country, you could get 40 bags from 1 acre. Today, you actually get less than 5 bags per acre, and nobody is talking about it. We must begin to talk about it, how to improve on productivity. We must keep data. We must have data so that we know our performance is coming down. We have given birth to many children. We need more production. How do we get that productivity? That's why I'm saying data is very key. How many graduates have gone through Kabarak University? That was the question. That data should be with you, by the way. You should have it on your fingertips. We have had this many graduates, we have this many graduates in this field. This is all data, because it's important. You're keeping quiet. Somebody is actually keeping that data. Somebody is keeping that data. Global IT challenges are around here collecting, gathering data. So, by the time some of you get married, I don't need to look for, you don't need to tell me about yourself. I'll just Google you and know whether your father was a thief, who was a boyfriend, then I can know the risks that I'm taking when I'm committing to this. This is happening. They are gathering every bit of information. When you go to any embassy to collect a visa, you get angry. They need all your fingers, biometric, your eyes, your height, your everything, everything. The supermarkets are collecting data. They give you a card, they call it a discount card. They actually know what you eat. When you eat it, you know, they want to profile you so that they know you. To the extent that some stores know our spouses more than our spouses do. Because Nakama will know that you've been buying a condom every Friday, which your wife doesn't know where you are. The moment you buy it and they give you that card, they record, yes, you bought a new one, and I don't know where it's going to be. So we are in a very complex period of time that the data would help us. That we also must embrace that data to improve our lives. Let me explain a little bit on raising citizen demands. Today, how many of you tweet here? Good number. How many of you are in Facebook? How many in WhatsApp? Because it's cheaper. Even the universities now, people will complain through Twitter, and that Twitter can damage the university forever. Say we didn't do this. This is why everybody must be aware of this that is happening. But then we can use it for our own advantages, as I would say later. We must know that we don't complain the way we used to complain. People complain online, people complain using Twitter, people complain whatever. Even media is under threat, because if something happens here, and someone takes the picture, posts on Twitter, 20 million people will see it, and the day tomorrow, when the Standard reports it, it will, oh, this is the old news. Even then, they are under threat from this. This is why the citizen demands, we must be able to find a way of managing them, either to work with them or finding solutions how to deal with it. Because one tweet can mess you up. A young lady was coming to Africa, and she tweeted to friends that I'm going to Africa, I hope I don't get AIDS. Before she landed in South Africa, she had been fired. She had been fired by her organization. But she had caused so much damage to where she was going and where she was coming from. Just a tweet, just a second when you type. This is why it's becoming very complex. Even government, around outcomes, especially service delivery, government now must find a way of actually responding to this. We must take a service delivery around this, because I know government is working towards where they can put the entire government on the mobile. Meaning that if you apply for your ID, you should not be spending 1,000 shillings to go and check whether the ID is ready. You should see on your mobile the steps you can score, and that satisfies your needs. This is, everybody must be able to respond to this. Universities must be able to respond to this. I am 100% sure in the next few years, I don't know how many of you have read The Economist for 2 weeks ago on education. None of you. Nobody. On education, The Economist. I will send it to you, because there is a movement towards changing the way the universities work. Those older universities Columbia's, Harvard's, MIT's, Oxford's, Cambridge, all of their lectures are online. All of them. All the lectures are online. Such that if you missed the lecture last night, the following morning you would actually go and look at that lecture. The administration would actually look how you lecture, whether you are an effective lecturer or whether you are an autocrat who says if you say something you don't get the marks from which means. So we are getting all this pressure, and we must be aware of it, that education is going to change. You could pay a fraction of what you would pay to be there, and be able to just fly there and do exams because the lecturers have put the material online. Of course, it's going to take a while before we accept what they call massive open online courses, which is MOOCs. I think you need to check that on Google because it's coming. I am not a prophet, but it's coming. So those of you who are going to lecture you. Then open, transparent, and accountable government institutions. Open, meaning data must be out there. One of the things we accomplished in government was to create the government open data. You want to find out how your resources were spent, they are out there. We mapped the CDF money on poverty mapping. I hoped I would meet somebody here to tell you that. We took how the LP spent money and the poverty levels in every location. Within 2 weeks when we put it on, we posted on the web. The entire National Parliament came and said, remove it. Because some had spent money from where they come from, not where there was poverty, there was more poverty. We were creating transparency. They didn't want that. So this is what's happening. Transparent, open organizations. These are the terms that you are hearing, but they're going to be serious in the days to come. So how do we create a knowledge economy? The World Bank says there are 4 pillars: education and training, the process that we are going to do here. Information infrastructure is one of them. Economic incentives and institutional regimes, then innovation systems. This is how we create a knowledge economy. If we are able to transmit the knowledge we have from here to our people in the rural areas, we would have attained a knowledge economy. If our farmers get to know that before they plant, they find out what type of soil they have, because that is going to be made possible, because it's easy to make it possible that that data is available to the farmers, and the farmers can use it to improve on productivity. If we understand it here and transmit it to our people in the rural areas, we would have actually done something. Because we plant and go to pray. You actually complicate things for God. Because there are things you are supposed to do. You do it right when you pray. You don't just put seeds there and begin to ask Him that God help me, that it works. If you know it can't work, even you sympathize with it. Yeah. It cannot. I know some can argue the seeds. Well, the Bible also says the seed that was planted on the rocks did grow 3 times the one. He has given you parables to look at and then translate it to the normal way that we are looking at. Let's move a little faster. Education, UK for example, they are going to teach coding from nursery school. How to make the computer work, the software, to teach them. If you look at this eyes, this is why I brought this picture. if you look at this picture and you see the intensity at which they are looking at a computer, it helps you more than anything. Actually, it is very boring when you have a teacher at the front. They will not be looking at the teacher the way they are looking at the computer. And you can go do research and find out. This thing changes. I will tell you a real life story. Because my son is in first year in college now. When he was in Form 2, he came with his friends and said, Daddy, you know, you're in government. Why don't you ask them to make mathematics optional? I said, why are you thinking that? He said, because we have learned enough to count money and other things. He did not want to do it. So I did not argue with him. I went online. There is some, I don't know about Khan Academy. Khan Academy. Just one. So I started in Khan Academy from standard 7 because it's very interactive. Some places are very interactive. And he paid attention. By the time he was getting from 3, he had moved from C to an A. So I said, well, I kept on praying in court that I did the. So he passed that. When he went to college, the first class he registered was mathematics because he knew where to get that knowledge. You know, he got an A and another A in calculus. So when he came home this time, he said, Daddy, I think I'm going to major in mathematics. From a guy who said, maths should be optional, a guy now telling me he's going to major in mathematics. So I said, yeah, you know, there's nothing you do as a father, you just show yourself. So, this picture, the eyes, tell you that we actually need these computers from the very early stage. It's not like us who came to learn too late in life. Even those who learned late are actually coming up with new applications. Simply because God has blessed Africa with many problems. These are the ones. This is very true. This is in computer science, those who develop software are the people who come from very difficult conditions. Why? Because if you go to UK, in a bus stage, you see the bus is coming at 8:15. It actually comes at 8:15. Here in Kenya, you actually don't even know whether the bus will come, number one. So you have a plan B for, if it doesn't come, I will do more. If it doesn't come, I will do what? This is how computers work. So we are blessed. We have all this. We can begin to use it. And this is why Kenya is becoming the new regional hub for ICTs. We are blessed with the problem. To innovate their problem. Now tell me, in the US or the UK, there is a bank in every corner. Why would someone have thought about M-Pesa? Just think, yeah? Here, it was difficult to send money from Nakuru to Nairobi. They used to call them apocalyptic checks. It will take 25 days if you are very lucky. You know, a patient here is released in Nakuru, and then you are asked to send money. Money you send through postal, which thought it is doing you a favor by delivering it in 3 days. In fact, you go to beg for your money to get it from there. That has been completely changed. Innovations that are fun. Now the same emphasis is impacting the Western world in other areas. So we have the opportunity to lead the world in coming up with innovations because we are dealing with the problems. And you must solve a problem in order to innovate. That's how it is. In fact, to them, they are finished with their problems. It's us now taking to work on our problems. If you look at this picture, it's the information infrastructure. Here there is a travel company, there is an internet company, there is a food, you know. This is how we advertise in rural areas. How many of you see opportunity here? How many of you see an opportunity? My God, then I'm in trouble. This is the biggest opportunity we have in Africa to actually reorganize the information from radio to internet to facilitate the effective communication, disseminate and process this information. We must begin to dismantle this kind of things that we see in the villages. And we could do it. We could do it. Quickly, these are women in China. And when they were working on the farm, they found something unique and they are looking for it on internet to find out a solution. We put up a digital village in Kachiari 4 years ago, and we showed a few sites for how to treat cows. In 2 days, the entire women from the village were there looking for different diseases on the internet. That's how powerful this thing is. We put another digital village in Sicily. There is no power, nothing, 2 solar panels, 1 low power computer. In 2 weeks, every woman in the village was sitting there every afternoon, and the young boy was taking them through on how to self-examine on breast cancer. This is how powerful. This is how powerful this is. Nobody told us that. Nobody went to tell them that you can do this. They came up with innovations. We took tablets to Nanyuki, Dondo, and we gave them without opening them. In 2 hours, those kids had figured out they are searching for things on the internet. So we actually underestimate our people. How many of you went for training on how to use the mobile phone? Nobody took a course, did they? And you know, when this thing was coming, actually Dr. Joseph was told, if you get 300,000, we will promote, we will give you more money. Because we assumed that the people who have the phones, the landlines, are the ones who would have mobile phones. And people are saying, there is a huge illiteracy here, nobody will use this thing. But there are now 31 million Kenyans with the mobile phone. And no one, you have had asking for a course to use the mobile phone. They are sending money. Actually, interest is a very complex thing. It's very complex. But everybody is sending and receiving money. Actually, we have more problems than we used to do because than we used to have before. Because I got a call from home, and before I used to hide and say, oh, my God, you combine it, I think I can have it. And they say, oh, equal yes. There is some test. There is an application locally called iCow, where farmers have improved productivity by up to 30% on milk because they are using the same way you are seeing these women consulting the internet. So the power of this thing, we are going fully understood. And this you may not see, but what it tells you is that where you see too many lines, that is between Europe and the US, Europe and South America, Europe and Asia. The circle, I don't know what direction it is, Africa was stuck, did not have the information infrastructure. So because most of you are researchers, if you look at the correlation between the availability of undersea cables and the level of knowledge, you probably agree that there is more knowledge where they used to share knowledge. Today we are able to share knowledge because we built this infrastructure. We built the undersea cables into Africa. And we asked the government agreed to subsidize to all universities. I remember when I was at the University of Nairobi, we used to share 1 megabit per second. Now Kenneth has poured broadband, meaning that you can share knowledge with somebody in Malaysia while you are here. You could share knowledge with people in the US while you are here. We have not scratched the surface. We have not looked at what innovations that we can develop for our country because of the availability of infrastructure. We have not touched it. We haven't, and we are hoping that we begin to address that, because availability of this infrastructure means that we can put infrastructure in such a way that we also can benefit. Yeah? We are not benefiting from this. It is Google that is going around here gathering our culture so that they can develop a Wikipedia for us. Yeah? And so my son is getting married, so let me check, you get the cultural ways to contribute. We could do that. We could develop content. We are not developing content. And we are getting more and more urbanized. We are losing our language. Because language, and I'm not a linguist or whatever, language has many meanings than we think. Language has got many meanings. Because we need to convert such terms as productivity into the vernacular. They are not there. So you go and tell a mama, Ataka Masaomi, so she doesn't understand what you're talking about. Yeah? Productivity, you are talking about inputs versus outputs. How much inputs and whatever. We must get a language for that. A language for that. Break-even point, you cannot even try. This is why language is key. They are not understanding what it is. And those two would mean success. The two words success. Yeah. Then government was kind enough. We distributed throughout the country. There is actually fiber through all over. I'm sure you are So I'm actually happy that I was part of the team that was able to deliver that throughout every institution of higher learning. So now I can stand here and say, you must use it. You must use it even from content on what you are doing every day, developing MOOCs for Kabarak University, meaning that people who cannot come here every day can actually take long distance classes so they can come here once to do exams. This is what online, what MOOCs means, that you can be in the Bundus. Every morning you wake up, you go through the lesson, and wherever you prepare, you come here for the exam. This is how we can create the knowledge economy. Everybody must get that knowledge. How do we deliver it? We have networks to deliver it. There are people who have started to provide a network to train, to teach mates where they're working, so they come and do exams at the end of the semester, so that every Kenyan would have an education. So most people do not understand the concept, by the way. They just thought we were just putting up buildings, but we were developing what we call an innovation ecosystem. We wanted to get the universities, we wanted to get the government, and we still want, and we still is happening, and the private sector to work together. To work together to provide solutions of the problems that I stated up there, that there is a huge number of youth. There are dynamics which we noted when we started this project. These dynamics are such that China is losing in low-end manufacturing. In fact, they are shifting much of it to India, and they are beginning to look for destinations in Africa where they can do that. Today, as I speak to you, Ethiopia supplies 25% of the feature phones in Africa. If I had asked you which country would have done that, everybody would have said Kenya. Yeah? But we are not doing it. We are not doing it. We must begin to do it so that we can go through what is called the learning curve very quickly and begin to compete. Now, if you fear from far away, you have not even answered to the question. Yeah? If you fear to ask a lady whether you want to marry her, you will never marry. You need to ask, you are repulsed, so you learn, and then you go next, having used the truth if you didn't use any of those. These are facts that we must begin to move towards. And it doesn't mean that you have studied something that is not in those lines. If you go to China, some of those kids did history, but now they are into manufacturing. Why would you import something like that? You just adopt a few things that you could change inside. And everybody knows China copied before they were able to produce. Japan copied before they were able to produce. I'm not saying, I'm standing here saying that the intellectual property, whatever, these things expire. Even medicine is 7 years. After that, genetics you can produce. But we keep on buying, even genetics now we're buying from India. So there's something we must do because we have the information. And with this place, we hope this is how we could do. Partly was also to begin new planning because by 2050, almost 60% of the Kenyan population will be in urban areas. Until we start planning, we will still have a lot of problems. So these are the multiple purposes. So we wanted there to have the Tripoli Helix to bring in the research and development, which is a mega program, incubation, to incubate small enterprises, grow them, accelerate some of them, and create a center where we can collaborate. From there, we can collaborate with Kabarak here, with Maseno, with Masenda Murilo, with course universities. This was the thinking, and I think it's going to work, that we cannot work in silos. We cannot work inside, we cannot work as Kabarak, as a silo, and work at Igaton as a silo. If we are doing a research here that requires somebody from Igaton, I think collaboration is good. And the collaboration is enabled because you have broadband. You have broadband. I'm doing a book chapter with somebody in Oxford. They write a paragraph and I say, no, this is not what you want to write. You change it a little bit like this. Those technologies are there. The new technologies are coming, even assembling this. We can assemble with somebody in Australia. He will tell you, no, change it this way, and you actually do the same thing. So there is collaboration which has been enabled. If we begin to take the risks, if you remember I said risk and venture into such, the demographic changes would not bring the impact they are bringing today, where the youth get frustrated and get into crime. We actually must begin to think that we create those. Ethiopia just push their people to actually make a move of them. If we force to get it, they will say, oh, it's my rights, whatever. This democracy would hurt us in the end. Yeah? Some of us grew like this because we were whipped thoroughly when we were in primary. and I'm actually happy with that. I don't know what you say. I don't know what you say in Nigeria. But we were whipped thoroughly. You can't respond to your mother before you are thrown off balance. And this is what we must begin to do. So I say we have a real opportunity to help our country, and to take responsibility by ourselves and begin to develop our country to help those many who are coming up who don't know, because we have the knowledge. We have the knowledge, we know the sources of knowledge, we can share with other parts of the world. So we blame ourselves. Actually, we blame ourselves. If you look at the AGOA list, AGOA, how many of you have looked at the AGOA list? One. AGOA is American Growth Opportunity Act. There are 8,000 products. 8,000 products in labs. There are about 300 different types of cheese that they want. Then one day the rains were good in Kenya. We had surplus milk, and I saw people pouring the milk, and Americans need cheese. And I said that something has gone completely wrong. In fact, what we should have done was to make yogurt out of the milk, and protested the president to call a national yogurt day. Everybody takes one glass. These are the marketing strategies. Is it a national yogurt day, everybody one glass, and then we are fine. We would be okay. Yeah? Today you can actually go to the Ministry of Trade. We're importing dried tomatoes from Spain. Right. Tomato, And I can go there and listen. Even when we grow, our goes wrong, and God has given us sunshine. These are sun-dried tomatoes from Spain, who asked God to give them a few more days of sunshine before we. As we have it 365, we are going to buy it from Spain. 20 billion watermelon. How many from Maradona here? Western Kenya? Western. Yeah. These people walk on wabas, which are rotting. Waba. Yeah. Then we import 7 billion worth of waba juice from South Africa every month. Waba. Nikufinya food, then we get juice. And it is so bad that we have all that knowledge. You could actually get that knowledge here. How much waba juice is consumed on internet here. That's how they look at it from. That's why they need data. That's why we need data to develop the products and be able to take advantage. If we took advantage of that, none of our youth would be out without work, because there is the market. There is the East African market, there is African market. Today, as I speak here, only 10% of the trade that is within Africa, intra-Africa trade. Yeah? Other parts of the world is 70%. You know, people need what we are making here in Goma, but we can't figure out how to make it in Goma, or we don't even know whether people in Goma need it. This is the knowledge we must begin to develop and say, we are doing it. The last one I would say, we needed cotton, I think, a few years ago. An American had known that there was surplus harvest of cotton in Tanzania. Came and stayed at Intercon for 1 month, tendered for it, went across the lake, delivered and went back to us. As we were sleeping on our blanket, we didn't even know that there's cotton in our neighborhood. This is why we need data. We actually need data. How much milk is produced in Rift Valley? So let me finish with that question. When you find out, you call me. When you find out, you call me. So I thank you. Maybe you have 1 or 2 questions. I will respond to them. I go back to Nairobi. 2, 3, 1. There is 1 again. There is a lot of money for good ideas. Finance actually is no longer a problem, even those of you studying small enterprises. We used to say finance is not a problem anymore. It is not a problem anymore. Even if you begin with works of fund to women fund, to youth fund, to banks, you know, that are giving money, it is not a problem. Insecurity is an opportunity. When you look at it as a problem, that is where you go. When you look at it as an opportunity, then you are thinking in the correct way. Just 2 days ago, we were at the University of Nairobi with global companies which have said, one of these is Google called Solve for X. They say, find a huge problem, security. There are breakthrough technologies which have not been applied, and then give a radical solution. This radical solution would be funded, and you would own the company, you know. Now, when we have a huge problem in security, we spend time whining. Others are spending time to actually figure out what can be done. You know, some are saying we have low-level satellites which look at who is walking at night, and the following day they provide the data. This is happening. It's going to be solved. It's just that we have not put. This is what I'm saying. Actually, you have an idea, a big idea. You let me know, and you get the money. These people who are here, this young lady, Sarah Mentor, is trying to make food globally cheap. She has data. The one I asked here on milk, she has it. How many gallons of milk are produced in the Rift Valley? What it is used for? What they are paying? What are the potential market? Whatever. She knows that. She's from Ethiopia, and she has seen opportunity that the Kenyans are asleep. She will do it for us. you know, and she's coming to do it. Actually, if we one day we organize a conference, I get such speakers to come here. You will be shocked. You will be completely shocked that you walk through data and the money and you leave it there. This other one is looking out like stunting. The stunting is where the children are not getting proper nutrients and then they don't grow up. The other one here is looking for a lot of people with diabetes. They have to keep their medicines in order. She's trying to find the cheapest way of doing it. So if today I'm trying to sell my idea that I want to get sheepy like, yeah, with a chip for software. Yeah, I'm sheepy. You know, he's not looking at me, so I can tell you I'm sheepy. Which I can put around my house. But if you come to break in, yeah, it would act like a python and would roll around you and tie you up until I call the police tomorrow morning. You are laughing, but it's a better solution. It's actually a better solution. Nobody is going to sleep. Nobody is going to come and break because they don't know where the machine is. They wouldn't know where. This is how crazy. You have to step out of the normal thinking and think crazy. Our security problem would end. There are several initiatives that the government is doing, even as we need to help the government because security. There is no government that just does it by themselves. The citizens are to be part of the security system. You must report a suspicious person. If you hear someone looking for explosives, why won't you report to the police? If you see someone has a gun, why won't you call, and try to find out? So security, we can't sit back and say, what has the government done? Oh, and it's insecure. Right now, youth, you should be thinking of solutions. What solutions can we use to change this? Actually, every problem in entrepreneurship, we say, is a wonderful opportunity. Just solve it, and you make the money. And as I've said, there are several people willing to fund you. I'm not trying to evade it, but I'm trying to convince you that this is we can think positively this way. Yes, sir. Definitely.
My question is about where are we at as Kenya with regards to having a sustainable innovation ecosystem. We made a lot of gains, we've received a lot of accolades for innovation. Where do you think we are at on the scale, maybe 1 to 10, in comparison to other countries that have made it with regards to having sustainable innovation ecosystems?
We are there. So, we are out there. This year I've made like 10 international speeches. I was giving a speech at MIT, another speech in England, I was in South Africa. Everybody is asking, what is it you did to succeed in a very small period of time? Yeah? And the answer is, you have to be a madman. Take risks. Take risks. The government was able to take risks such that we move forward. Now, I have given you the chronology of things. We have brought the infrastructure up to here. Now, the universities must begin to take the risk because the road network is already being made. The university here must take the risk and say the diseases that are around us, we must begin to do research around them. If you go a place called Timwek, there used to be high incidences of esophageal cancer. And people used to say, the Kufa cancer. Where the Kufa cancer, you know, the Kufa. And nobody was asking, why throat cancer in everybody? Nobody was asking. That's how academics are supposed to think. Why throat cancer from a small place? So the Americans, I think World Read, when they were there, they said there must be something environmental here. Yeah? And they began to look for it. Yeah? They found out the tree that was used to make music had been people burned the whole thing in charcoal. They switched to another tree, which actually triggered cancer. A simple solution. But as we know, cancer has killed. Everybody is scared of cancer. Nobody is asking any question. We must begin to question certain things. There are high instances of blindness in this part. You know, nobody has asked whether the wind that blows from one side. And this is what research is supposed to do. Yeah? We are actually dropping there because of some diseases from cardiac to other things. This is where the universities must begin to ask what is it that we need to do. You know, Zacchaeus, the question he asked Jesus, what is it that I need to do to see the kingdom of heaven? What is it that we need to do as universities to create a sustainable innovation systems? We actually must begin from very simple things around us and prepare. We are doing so well. We are actually doing so well, but we must use our resources. Kenya graduates about 7,000 graduates a year. If you take Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, whatever, they can't reach 50,000 graduates. That tells you have a great opportunity. There is collaboration with other countries in the world for research. We are not collaborating. I saw the map for research globally. We are doing so poor. We are doing very poor in the sense that some places research is big thing. In Africa, it's so thin. And in that thinness, you look at it, you find it is South Africa, South Africans who are doing that, most of that research. That is what we must change at universities. Take a little risk, and we will succeed. They were there. Only forward. Okay. Constitutionally, we give a woman.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah.
This morning, the gentleman sitting next to you are not very important. Now, how do you teach an old dog new tricks?
No. Actually, all those learn. Critical thinking. Every university in the US, you cannot graduate without doing critical thinking. You cannot. We must make sure that philosophy and critical thinking are part of our syllabus. And let it begin from Kabarak, such that the Kabarak graduates would actually be different outcomes. Will be completely different. Yeah? Stockmore started in a very small way. Now they have made a big name for themselves. Kabarak follows suit and they do the same. Change begins with you. Change begins with you, and then the other people would follow. These old dogs, you bring them in here and they talk about critical thinking. We are more incarnate, by the way. It's just that we are now going to bring some theories and be able to say, they will learn. Dogs now. Yeah, and then
I am in the School of Government and I say I'm very fortunate to meet you because I use your example of government whenever I go to the school, someone said now, my issue is there's been a lot of work that has been done in terms of research. The only problem is implementation findings. And in terms of research, this country has done a lot, including a good number of us who have had work that we've done in the universities, and they're just there. What is the solution now? The baby you've just pointed out is taking probably what some of us have already done and turning it into something else.
There's so much research. I've given several examples, especially in University of Nairobi College of Agriculture and whatever. You go there and you will die because I don't know how many of you from Nairobi. They even have met an African cereal, you know. How do you know African cereal?
African
cereal. Yeah? Cereal. What maybe I'm older. Whenever we went to school, we used to carry they are not in English. Before they make pombe, they normally cook, what do you call it? Before you get the pombe, there's something they used to dry, and you can keep it for a whole month. What is it? Yeah. That go find the rice and the cooked milk. Even kernels will not get near. That is super cereal with all the roughage that we want. Now, there are made so many things, but they are not really commercialized as we import in billions of shillings. If you look at the imports of cereals from cornflakes to whatever, you will feel embarrassed. Now, Kabarak is within an area where there is wheat and whatever. We need a cereal from here which will challenge Kellogg. And the commercial, implementation, once the research has been done. The problem has been the knowledge that you remember I said about information infrastructure. There is no link. The way we grew up with universities was that there were ivory towers. In fact, when we were very young, those who went to university used to smell different, so we will not get them nearby. You know, they have gone far, we can't touch them. University has come down, that is what we call the triple effects. Work with ordinary people, work with the government, come up with those new innovations, and they put them out there. You know, a Kenyan was manufacturing that and that. He sold it for 1.5 billion. But even him, he didn't have the information that foreigners used to buy, and they had a huge market in Europe. So L'Oreal, which is strong in Europe, said, wow, there's a product here our people want. So they did not want to buy from him, they bought the company. So ideally, he made up to 10 billion, but he's minded because he got to 1.5 billion, you know. This is information asymmetry, and it's because we don't maintain data. We don't have data. He didn't have data. Who sells? Who is my customer? What does my customer look like? So when he was very happy. I'm sure you've been told the marketing story of Rothmans versus BAT. When Rothman came here, BAT was scared. So BAT decided that they would buy everything from Rothman's through agents. They bought it for 6 months and stopped. What happened is Rothmans were so happy they had imported tons and tons of volumes because they are sharing and they are with it. So when they stopped, there is no new Rothmans on the market. So they remained with the inventory and they collapsed. They went forever from this market. You must know your customer. You must know you must know the final customer. He should have known the final customer was, there are some people across, yes.
As you roll out, considering the fast pace of technology, it appears maybe by the time we have the connections all over the country, maybe obsolete at that time. I want to know from you, and that's whether it's the right thing to continue rolling out the fiber optic.
The question again?
Fiber optic connections.
Move it a little bit.
Fiber optic connections.
Yes.
So that I'm asking going forward, given the fast pace of changing technology, whether by the time we cover the county that we want to cover will be obsolete because of the very fast change of technology.
Fiber will be obsolete. Otherwise, it would have been obsolete. It's the fastest means without latency.
So is it here to stay?
Yeah?
So it's here to stay?
It will?
Is it here to stay?
Fiber will stay for a very long time. The technologies of transmission, the last mile, I know what you call last mile. And whatever is happening around last mile, it is improving on a daily basis. In another year, we are getting 4G, which is very fast. And even before we finish, 4G, 5G is on the way. You have been hearing about the balloons. Don't worry about technology. It doesn't hurt your pocket, it reduces the cost. It improves your pocket. But for fiber optics, it's going to stay because to backbone information without losing to latency. That is the best technology ever. I know there are some who have tried to come, but nobody has changed it for several years. I don't want to say that it will never, but if it comes, hey, I don't know. Yeah. Another lady and another lady here. Yeah. Front. No, she's looking backwards and you raise your hand.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We've talked so much about technology and how it's advancing and our country. Doctor, my question is, how far are we to electric trains? Are we so close to having electric train in East and Central Africa? How far are we to that? How far are we?
I think we are very far. Even though is actually correct, and I said sometimes it's might be unusual that if we had a super train going at 1,000 kilometers per hour, linking us to Abuja, Lagos, we will know each other better. Our train will go high, we'll create more jobs, but Africa's development has been dictated by donor agencies. If you say you want to do an electric train, they will tell you, we will not give you any money because that is useless. But it is what would make Africa, Africa. Right now we are a bunch of distinct countries which we don't even know. Ugandans, because the road is cleaner and nearer we go. But we need to talk to Senegalese, we need to talk to Nigerians, we need to Liberians, such that if I need a holiday, I just write that train up to Lagos and come back. That's a very good tour, going through the rainforests of Africa. How many of you have seen a rainforest? And you say you are African. You see? So,
let us give him another applause. Thank you very much for that inspiring presentation. We got to learn that knowledge is wealth. Now, we have with us Mr. Thomas Ndemo, who was actually scheduled to present. He was a key speaker on Tuesday, but could not make it because he had challenges in getting a flight to Kenya at that time. And he's here with us today. He's been attending our international conference since it started in 2011. He's a friend of Kabarak University, and I would like just to give him 2 minutes to greet, to bring a word of greeting, and also to make a presentation. So I'll invite him, Mr. Thomas Ndemo from Nigeria. Is from the African Liberty Organization. African Liberty Organization, and whose values and principles are liberty, peace, and prosperity. Mr. Thomas.